It is Monday, July 26th. Good morning, everyone. This is Nadex Morning Analysis, where we look at potential hotspots in the markets for today at Nadex. My name is Todd Rich. With me from Keep Trading Simple is Brian Caprice. Before Brian and I jump into it, I do need to share this disclaimer quickly that trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for everyone. That any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk, and that this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a buy or sell recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes. So this morning, not a lot going on. Equity markets, a little soft after closing at all-time highs on Friday across the board. So a little soft on the open this morning. But what we are seeing, as you can see here, some volatility in oil. Oil dropped nearly $1 overnight, only to rally back most of the way. So we'll look at some technical levels and what's going on in oil, and then we're going to take a look at some of the pound. The British pound is seeing some strength this morning. So with that, I don't want to tee up anymore. Brian, I'm going to flip it over to you. Let's talk a little bit about technical levels in oil, and then we could jump into the pound.
Yeah, so I mean, this morning so far, it's been kind of a very, I don't know, stereotypical summer kind of doldrums where we're not really seeing a whole lot. At least in the currency front, the only thing really up right now is the pound dollar, about 27 pips, and that's the biggest mover. Even the pound yen only up about 15. So not a lot of crazy movement. The overnight was kind of one directional, and then all of a sudden we hit 4 o'clock this morning when this German info business client came out. Climate came out, and everything reversed right back up again. So there's been some decent movement, but it's a lot of retracing, pushing in one direction and the other one. I was just checking too as well, looking at the medal count for the Olympics. Obviously, the Olympics is another one of those distractions where a lot of people will be focused on that and the medal count and what their events are. Being that it's kind of on a different, I'd say like almost like a different day, right? We wake up, we can get all the medal counts. It all happens in the middle of the night for us. You can see those over there as well. So the medal counts are always interesting to kind of check out. And as far as hot news of the morning, there's not really a whole lot in here. It's a lot of commentary. I mean, a lot of green-based news in here. We had the German business sentiment, and again, that fell in July, but that was kind of expected with everything they have going on. You know, really, there's nothing in here. I mean, we're talking about, the Thai baht, yuan. Just there's nothing. There's
Quiet.
nothing.
It is
Yeah.
quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens. It's the summertime. Not every day is a big day. So again, if we've mentioned it before, on Mondays when there's not really a whole lot of catalyst out there or big earth-shattering news, again, it's a day to kind of do your levels for the rest of the week if you haven't done it already. Looking at oil was one of the ones that did actually move. You can see, really, I mean, here's where the blue box starts is about 3 o'clock in the morning. If you look back, I mean, this is where we were late last night, right? At about 10 o'clock, we really started to see a push down from that 72.30 level. And right about 4 o'clock, right when the business climate, even though it has nothing to do with oil, it started to push back up again. And we literally rally. We're now 20 cents from where we were last night at midnight. So, it is a lot of move. I mean, it's $1.50 worth of movement. That's more than we had total for both the European and the U.S. session on Friday. We mentioned it maybe being small after the week that we had. But right now, levels of importance that I would say to keep watch for would be, literally up top right here, right? If price is able to get to the 72 level, that is a level on, and again, this is on the 15-minute chart. I'll go back to 30. On the 30-minute chart, there was a level there where sellers had stepped in the past. Don't know if it's going to get there today. It may just roll over at this point and kind of retrace. Again, it may be another one of these mirror-type days today. A lot of times when we see it kind of move in one direction, it kind of reverses. I mean, this was the, here's one of those reversal days. Here's a continuation. Here's that reversal as well. And then same thing. It kind of ended up and then stayed within that box. So if it rolls from this level, I don't really necessarily have a great entry for it, but 72.72. On the flip side, we had some buyers and some testing that we'd mentioned last week. Down here at the 70.15 level, but right now we're about $1.70 from this, and about 80 cents from the top side. So again, it just shows that we're really starting to kind of more push sideways than anything else. Now, you could look at this on a weekly level, on a weekly basis, and say, okay, listen, we're a little bit on the higher side. 72 has been one of those areas where, I was able to spike back up again, but looking to the left, you can see there's levels here, sellers here, sellers here, sellers here. there's a lot of sellers. If you're able to find a weekly contract, maybe it's worth taking something in here. And again, remember, the Olympics provides a lot of distractions this week where people will be focusing on that. And we won't have as many overall kind of big news releases. And in fact, tomorrow we'll do the full breakdown, but this is not a week where I would say is just packed to the gills with news releases. And again, Olympics, everybody kind of knows that.
Yeah, you mentioned weekly contracts. I'm going to just take a quick peek in oil. Let's first take a look over at the call spreads. I just want to see what we've got going on in oil. We've got our daily contracts. So you wanted to take a look at some weekly stuff. So let's just jump over to the knockouts. Commodities. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. And I can bring up any of these. Let's just see where we are right now with some of these knockouts. If there's anything that might be, relatively within range. And there is one that's up above a bit. So, again, I know that you like to be a very much an if this then that trader. So something to watch. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted to hit. There we go. As I'm clicking all over the place. Yeah, if you're an if this then that, you see oil drifting up to certain levels where you think, oh, you said you'd like to do this from.
Hello. I think we lost Todd. I don't know if you guys are still on or not. It does say live. Up there he is.
Oh, you know what? That was weird. I don't know. This is being delivered over the internet, and all of a sudden the internet glitched on us, and we came right back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, actually, I was just saying on a 30-minute chart, there are some knockouts that could be interesting on the if this then that scenario levels. Let's go ahead then, Brian, and we'll jump over to the pound.
Yeah, and I will say too, looking for longer duration contracts. Yeah, you can look for some of the weeklies out there, but one of the other things too is you can always go across and look at the knockouts, right? The knockouts have those 5-day duration contracts standard in there anyway because it goes till the end of the week where it's knocked out. There is, and again, this is one of those ones that I do. A lot of times, I do complain. Any of the guys that are in my forum know that I do complain that I feel that the knockouts are a little bit too far away in some cases. There happens to be a knockout up here in crude oil today, or not today, but for this week, up at 73, which just happens to be 10 cents or actually 9 cents above where my level is. So that's one that we actually need to kind of keep our eye on as far as, again, it's a situation where if it does come up to that level, there is a potential we could take a reversal trade from that without taking on, in my eyes, what is considered too much risk. If we do take that roll off of that 73 level, which again will be psychological, but there are sellers in that 20-cent range right before it. So,
which is what I was showing you. I don't know if I went in or out there as the internet connection got dropped.
Yeah,
which was the one I was trying to show you. Great. So there we go. I'll flip it back over there. So
sure.
There we go. It's all you.
Yeah, so in regard to the pound, it's moving in a couple interesting ways. You're seeing, we'll start off with the euro pound just real fast. You can see it's more or less trending sideways, from yesterday. And we're seeing, for the most part, we're seeing it kind of push down in the overnight right now. And it's stabilizing a little bit. I would say, we mentioned this level last week at 85.25. We got a bit of room to run. It's about 30 pips from where we are right now. And again, it's in a level. So we're expecting this level is most likely going to fail. You can see that, we had the touching here, and this is number 4 coming through. So again, we don't really necessarily have buyers in the euro pound until this level down here at 85.25. So a little bit more room to run there. Going across the pound yen, not a ton of movement, but you can see from that 3-4 o'clock window, you had the big spike back up again. And last week we mentioned that we had an area here where we'd be looking to, potentially take a short at 152.49. Got a little bit more room to run there. And again, we're having some profit taking from this big spike up. And I say big, it was about 80 pips in the overnight, which again, that's a decent move. It was just that from late last night, from that 7-8 o'clock window last night, price came down first and then, caught the buyers and pushed back up again. So it doesn't look like it's moved a lot because again, last night pushed it down and then the Europeans drove it back up again. But now
that was interesting too, because that happened right when they pushed out the German data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the business. Yeah. Well, again, it just shows you the power that Germany has, both, not just in the euro, but as well as a trading partner, particularly for the UK.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to point that out. It was kind of rather interesting.
Yeah. So right now, I would say again, we talked about having a potential buy down here, and you can see how much we actually missed it by. I missed it by 4 pips. we had talked about the buyers that had created this stabilization point and this pump at 151.36. We missed it by 4 pips and drove it back up again. So it means there's buyers down there. Otherwise, price would have went, continued to go lower. But right now, 152.49, 151.36, on top and bottom, I think are ones to watch out for. And then pound dollar, you can see that. We had a level that we had pushed off of, right? 1, 2, 3, and then this one kind of came up and formed a base just a little bit higher, which is fine. Because again, this was an old level, and we knew that we actually had buyers up until that level there. So you can see that it was really kind of testing those guys. But right now, the pound dollar is kind of sitting right in the middle. And if this rolls back down again, 136.93, 138.63, and I think I had a note to check this one real quick. Just give me a
you're still on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was gonna say, there we go. There's the pound dollar. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, you were on oil.
I think it was just delayed coming through.
Okay.
I had 138. Yeah, there was one of these in here that I wanted to check out. 139. Yeah, it was this one. So if we get some strong movement this week, and again, this is one of those things that I mentioned, we have a 139.47 right there, and that's another one of those knockouts that's in close proximity. It is quite far. I mean, it's about 150 pips, but remember, the pound dollar, if we go up to the daily, you can see that the daily ATR is about 94 pips. So it is a little bit far, but if we get one day worth, with a bunch of movement from where we are right now, 94 is here. That knockout comes into play later in the week. Maybe it could potentially be tomorrow. It could be Wednesday if we start to catch more pound strength in there. So again, it's just one of those things. It's just further planning for later on the week. So I'm not surprised. Like, oh, there's a knockout. I missed it. And vice versa. There was one also on the downside. Where is it? I had it.
And this was the pound dollar?
Yeah, this pound dollar. Yeah, there was one that's a little bit too close. There's a 47 in here, which is down here, which I think is okay. And then right down here, unfortunately, there's a 97. So yeah, it wasn't. The note was on the top for this one. Like, I just had knockout on this one. I didn't have it all done there. It's Monday morning.
So, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to flip this over quickly on the Nadex platform. If you're doing your charting on the Nadex platform, it can make it easier sometimes, where you don't always have to translate and move everything across. And the knockouts, by the way, the ranges, you can click between the ranges very quickly. And so I think this is the 47 level that Brian was just talking about. And then up, then there's the one up above. But you can quickly easily identify the levels. I mean, they're marked for you on the charts for you to find exactly what you're looking for. So.
Yep. So that's, it's kind of in the middle range. I do like the, the level over here. There's a little bit of a knockout, but right now we're kind of sitting in the middle. So I'm not going to give you guys, bombard you guys with details with 100 pips in either direction for that one. But just know that I would say right now, the pound yen is showing the best promise. The pound dollar's got some, again, it's stabilizing right in the middle, but we have things for probably later in the week. And again, like I said, euro pound, I think this one has the ability to come a bit lower, and then we, look for longs. But that's about it.
I do like your message. If it's a quiet, slow Monday, it is a great opportunity to do your homework for the week. I think that's a really important lesson in and of itself. Taking a look at the charts, getting your technical levels on there, putting on the knockouts levels, looking for potential opportunities, even in the binaries. But preparing, just getting ready, and trying to find those hot spots. And so when things are moving, you're set to take advantage of them.
Yep. Yeah. And gold did the same exact thing, guys. Gold is only at 0.1%, 0.09% right now. It drove up from late last night, and then the Europeans took it over and put it right back down to the same exact spot again. So not really much going on with gold either. And again, it's a Monday during the Olympics in the middle of the summer. So
right.
A lot of stuff going on.
There is a lot of stuff going on, along with massive heat waves. All right, with that, any questions for Nadex, please email us, customerservice@nadex.com. Whether it's about our products, your account, the platform, we're here to help. Brian is also very accessible. You can email him at support@keeptradingsimple.com. Please feel free to use him as a resource. Again, quiet, slow Monday. U.S. equities all looking a little soft on the open. Oil made some moves overnight, so some volatility that was occurring there in the European session. And we're seeing some pound strength this morning across the board. All places for you to potentially take a look at. Brian and I will catch you again tomorrow morning. And with that, I want to wish everyone good luck in the markets. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.